Here's a nice and easy hip warm-up. Go ahead and sit on the floor. A soft surface is nice. It's not that necessary for this one. And we're gonna bring our feet in front of us and wide. So wider than the hips, about 1.5 times wider. You don't wanna go too far forward. Make sure your knees are bent here. We're gonna bring our hands behind us to start with. The hands are really nice for supporting ourselves, so press into the hands. Have a nice and tall chest and spine. And from here, we're gonna start simple. We'll just take some windshield wipers from right to left. So we're gonna go all the way to one side, and depending on your range of motion, you might not be able to take your knees all the way to the floor, and that's totally fine. So work with what you have today. And from here, we're just gonna go to the other side. And as we go through this, a couple of suggestions I have is, first of all, don't rush it. Don't go through it just mindlessly, thinking about other stuff. Actually bring your awareness into what's happening here. There are some subtle muscles that are being engaged here. And really notice the range of motion you have. Maybe it's different in one side than the other side. So really paying attention to what's happening here in the motion. So that's one suggestion. Another one you can play with is you can actually isolate the motion in the legs a little bit, where I'm going to take this leg out to the side, see how much range I have there, and then I want to wait until it pulls the other leg, and then I'll let that leg follow. You can come to one side, same thing, other way. Now this already was a perfect warm-up, so this is where you can stop. If you want to take this a little bit further into active mobility territory, which is really nice, then follow along here. So instead of having our hands behind us for support, we could actually give it kind of very little support, or almost no support, to a point where we can take the hands off the floor. So maybe just start on the fingertips. And because we don't have the support of the hands, we have to really press into our sitting bone here. So I'm really pressing down to my sitting bone, try to sit as tall as possible still. Come to the center and to the other side. And in fact, it actually helps to take the arms forward now for a little bit of a counterbalance, so you don't fall backwards. Trying to sit as tall as possible. Actively pressing down in the hips. And maybe taking the arms a little bit closer to you once that is a little bit more comfortable. So already this is a really nice way to work on active engagement of the hips. I'll give you one more idea to play with if you want to take it even further. We can come to one side in a figure 4 position and go for a little stretch first. This could feel really nice by itself. A little stretch, especially on the front hip. And now from here, we could activate the back glute and think about lifting that heel off the floor like so. So that leg wants to go into even more of an internal rotation as you lift the hip up. It might be the case that you can't actually lift it up, and that's okay. Just the action of engaging that muscle will be doing the work for you. So the more you shift forward, the easier it will probably get for you. So just hold it for a few seconds as you lift, and then come down. And then we can go to the other side. So coming up, we can use no arms again to transition. Go to one side, go forward for a stretch, and then activate that back glute. Lift that heel off the floor if you can. Hold it for about 5 to 10 seconds. Should be pretty good. And then come back down, and I can continue all of this. Cheers.